Lamella, lovely cushion header. But Gerrard, you beauty! Balotelli, Aguero! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again. Here he is again. Here he is again. It's astonishing. It's absolutely world class.
Okay, so first episode of the Coaches Don't Play podcast with the current middleweight English champion, Linus Udofia. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. I'm all good. How are you?
I'm great, mate. In today's podcast, we're just talk about sort of your boxing career, your early life, and of course Luton Town, because as I've mentioned before, I'm a season ticket holder at Luton.
Have been. Can you still get any? Can you still get season tickets now? I don't know about that.
My one I've had, I think last season, I think you can either refund it or there was some, because my dad does it, and something to do with like, I think you have to you can leave it just to help out the club or something.
Yeah,
that's what I've done. But I think since after, I don't know if you remember this, but you know when we lost to Blackpool in the this going back now in League Two a few seasons back, the season after that is when I got my first ticket.
Yeah.
So we're starting off with Luton. What is your earliest memories of like Luton Town Football Club?
One of the earliest was right before the John Stones Paint Trophy. Like, I remember when I first went to a Luton Town game. I think it was very vaguely me and my friend. We was like little kids, and he was doing this thing where he always wanted to go to like every stadium from League One to Premier League. He was doing like a stadium tour. And so I went with his dad, like him and his dad, when they were doing Luton. I was like, yeah, I'd love to go. And then I kind of just started from there. And then obviously, my whole family at the time, they all supported Arsenal. So no one was going to take me. And my dad was like, nah, I'm not letting you. You can't, you're not going on your own. You're a little kid. Yeah. So I didn't get to see him until I was about maybe in my first year of college when I started, making my own money. And then I'm pretty sure that's when, because I was playing football, I was at the I got to watch the John Stones Paint Trophy with my football team. They took us down to watch them. And that was pretty cool. And so I started to go on my own. When I got to my first year of college, I started making money for myself, buying tickets. And I just go down there, just get a train and go down there and watch them. That was it. That's all I can remember, really. Like, it never really, things haven't really changed too much.
Yeah, when I
the leagues, isn't it?
Yeah, when I first heard about you, I was in the stands. I think I can't remember what game or when it was, but you came out. I think it was at half time.
Yeah,
and that's when I first sort of heard about you, because I think boxing for a lot of people like me is I enjoy the sport. I enjoy watching it, like watching the big fights. But like some of my mates are like into like small. I wouldn't say smaller, but like, because if you ask anyone, they know who AJ is.
Yeah, of course.
But
big time. It's big time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remember the full hall, which is just people that aren't on TV, and then there's actually like TV fighters and big fighters. And then there's pay-per-view fighters. You got AJ's, Dillian White's. Yeah. You got the Eubanks, Billy Joe's. You know what I mean? The big names are going to know. The Kell Brooks and that. People like Mia Khans and that. People are going to know them. Yeah, I know. I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Do you like strive to be in that list?
Oh, of course. With anything, like anyone does, they always want to be the best at it. And when I started doing this and I decided that this is going to be what my future was and what was going to be my career, it was always a given that I'd want to be the best in this. I want to be remembered in this sport for being, one of the best people that ever did it. So, it's one of those. It's just one of those. I'll capture all the accolades and be one of the best.
Do you have when it comes to that list, do you have a idol you used to look up to, or an idol now?
yeah. I look up to obviously my parents. They're very hardworking people.
Yeah,
But that's just in general. I look up to them quite a lot. And boxing wise, I look up to Roy Jones Jr. He was the first person I watched when I first ever started boxing, and it was just like I'm pretty sure I was like looking up like when I started boxing, I used to watch like videos of,
yeah,
I didn't know what I was looking for on YouTube and things like
just
that.
anything.
Yeah, and I stumbled across like an hour and a half long video of his like highlights,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, I was mesmerized. It was incredible watching him. I was thinking, how do you do that? How did he do that? Because when you actually watch him, he was a bit of an anomaly because he was limited. He didn't really have the best defense. He just had very good fast twitch muscles to get out of the way, and attacking was his defense.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like
that's what they say, that your attack is your best defense.
yeah, his attack was his best defense, and he never really had any like defense. And obviously, as soon as age starts to catch up to you,
Yeah,
you start getting a bit slower. It catches up to you. But yeah, I used to watch some of his stuff when he was younger, and he was just all of them put together. He was just everyone. He was the Mike Tyson, the Ali. He was smooth. He was slick. He had power. He had speed. He had everything, and I couldn't. You just like I was mesmerized, and that was it. I was just like, you know what? I
you
look up.
hooked.
Like, this guy is just amazing. Like this guy would never lose, and then
Yeah,
obviously he lost a few times, like, and obviously what's happening to his legacy now, but he's still my idol. He's still
yeah.
someone that got me hooked onto it.
You mentioned for that long time never lost,
Yeah,
and obviously the review. I think isn't it your professional record 16-0?
yeah, 16
Yeah,
fight losses.
yeah. I mean, I think was it yesterday or the day before. I looked up your last fight, and I think it was like Sky Sports 45 minutes long. And if I'm honest, I don't want to bullshit you. Just I've been a bit massive fan for years, but stuff like that. I've never seen one of your fights before. Just watching you, I just thought like I just someone who doesn't know boxing. I was like I looked at it, I thought that is I could never for a start I could never do it. And I thought this guy's good. Like this guy's good because I think there's one thing I really highlighted is how calm you were. And there was a point in the fight where he's this is really unprofessional, but I forgot the guy you were fighting. I know something Junior.
John Harding Jr.
Yeah, sorry, that's my
That's all
bad.
right,
But
man. I
there was
forget times too.
he caught you a few times,
Yeah,
and just how calm you were,
yeah.
and you just sort of like the composure, which is just something that I was like, if that was me, I'd be like my arms going everywhere, just trying like get out of that situation.
Like reaching out, grabbing every surface on the way down.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that. It's always obviously no one wants to get hit,
Yeah,
but like it's just I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for a very long time. I'm a student in the game. I study the game all the time, and I mean we're in the gym every day, and like we're ready. We're ready for a lot of things, and yeah, you can be in danger, but you need to. What's the word? My coach always says, get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
yeah, no, yeah, I understand that.
He always used to say that. He's just get comfortable with being uncomfortable and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I think there's a quote. I'm not sure who it's from, but it said everyone has a game plan until you get hit in the face,
Yeah,
and that's sort of like watching that fight. That's sort of what it was. But I thought it was a great fight. I think that was in Milton Keynes as well, so that wasn't too far from
oh
Luton.
yeah, that was wicked. That was round the corner. I went home as soon as the fight finished. I went into my room, packed all my stuff. Well, I had most of my stuff packed anyway, but I just kind of put my fight clothes away. I didn't even have a shower. I just packed all my stuff and literally just went home. Just went home, literally 20 minutes down the road, and watched the rest of the card on TV. In my house, I just was like, yeah, I can't be arsed. I've been in this hotel too long.
It's just never at the office.
Yeah, I just wanted to get home and have a pizza, to be honest.
I think you deserve it, mate. After that,
I appreciate that, mate.
you also mentioned you played football before, and I did a little research, and I think there was a quote. It said, "In football, I kept on getting injured. That means I couldn't box."
Yeah.
Is that so? I'm guessing that's the main reason why you sort of like chose chose football over boxing.
Boxing over football.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right, mate. No, no, that was one of the reasons. The main reason was just I don't know. I kind of fell out of love with it, and that was it was a whole thing with like the whole team game aspect. Like we
Yeah.
can, you're playing on a pitch with obviously 11 or 10 other men.
Yeah.
And it's all good, but 10 of you could be doing great, and if one person isn't,
And the whole team.
you could all lose the match, even though you're all doing great. Do you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
and it literally one of my last games, like before I even just said, you know what, I'm just gonna go and commit all to boxing now. One of my last games, it was exactly a carbon copy. It was just literally an example of, and it was like an important one. It was like a cup final, and we were 1-0 up, and because a couple of people, literally two people, decided to try and be a hero.
Yeah.
We ended up losing 2-1, and it was just like
Frustrating.
we were having such a blinding game. I don't understand how we can all put 100% in, and two people decide to just flip the script and lose it for us, and I can't go home happy about that.
Yeah, no. So do you sort of like, do you see yourself before, like, if I put 100% in, then that's going to be 100% for me, because like in like when 11 men, if 10 of them put 100% in and one person put 50% in, that 50% could cost you a goal, could cost you a game, and
Yeah,
like
the
that
whole game.
cost you a cup final.
Yeah, 100%. Like 100%. That's you hit the nail on the head. That's just how it was, and I can't. I got to a point where I was thinking to myself, you know what? I can't leave that. I can't leave the margin of winning and losing to someone else. It has to be
Yeah,
just me.
is that
So I really then gravitated towards boxing a lot more.
so from your early life, um, obviously, I think was football your first sport, or did boxing become for that?
No, football was always in the forefront ever since I could run, and then it was athletics. It was athletics, football, and football just never. It never really left. But I did a lot of things. I did taekwondo, jiu-jitsu,
Hmm.
but Muay Thai, you name it, kickboxing, you name it, I did it. Like
Yeah,
I did everything. And boxing was the only thing that really, or for boxing and football, were the only things that really kept me. Like really,
sort of draw you to it.
yeah, just kind of sunk his hooks in, and that was it.
Yeah. So where did you find boxing? When was your first sort of like real exposure to boxing?
Um, oh, exposure. Me and I can't remember. Me and when was my first exposure? I used to play football in the Astro with a friend of mine, Grant Walpole, and he was massive into boxing. He used to love it,
Hmm.
and he was a couple of years older than me.
Okay.
And he said he wanted to start running like a little boxing center, like to teach people how to box. And I
Yeah.
was like, I'll give it a go. I've done some combat before. I'll give it a go, and tried it out for a little bit before I actually like went into boxing properly. And
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, you actually like improving really, really quickly. If you really want to like start doing it properly and competing, you could go to this place."
Yeah.
And I went there, and that was it. And then that was it. I kind of just stayed. I just kind of
Fell in love
stayed.
with it.
Yeah, that was it. I just got there, and everything was just right. Everything was just right. I was only like 17 as well, so it was
Yeah.
like relatively late. But to me, that wasn't late at all. That was early enough to start something, and
Yeah. Because most boxers start like really young,
yeah.
and I think for someone who started when they're 17, and for people who started when they're like 5, 6, 7, going upwards, like do you think you're like rapid, sort of like the way you do you think you're an like, easy learner? It like comes easy to you?
It's not even that. I think I read up an article on Sergio Martinez, he's retired now, but he was a middleweight world champion. And
Hmm.
there was an article where he said he walked into the gym when he was 21. He'd never done anything. He was a professional footballer in Argentina, I think, and he stopped. He was just like, "Nah, I got a bad injury in his knee. I think it was a cruciate ligament or something like
Oh, that's never good.
that." Yeah, devastating, really, innit? He never come back from those.
Yeah.
And cruciate ligament, he was done. And then he started boxing to try and do like his rehab,
Yeah.
and he just stuck to it, and he became a world champion about 8 years later.
Jesus Christ. Nice.
And I thought to myself, this isn't a game of, how long have I been doing it? Is how long I'm going to be successful.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
thought to myself, you know what? This guy put in work. He put in a lot of work, and that's why he went to where he was. And I
Yes.
always looked at it, and I always looked at it myself, and I said, if I put in the work, it doesn't matter how long I've been doing it. If I put in quality work, I'll get to where I need to get to.
Yeah. And I mean, that's proven as well
Yeah.
from from where you came from and from where you are now. But when you come up from your like upbringing, would you say because I mean, you hear it every week of like these boxers who came from like really bad backgrounds, from like really poor places. But where I've read, you sort of like it wasn't like that.
No, no, it wasn't at all. It wasn't. My upbringing was fantastic. My parents did everything they could to provide everything for us. I was never, do you know what I mean? I've never been in prison. I've never
Yeah,
had bad, life. So obviously, I've been arrested before. We've all obviously done bits. We've all ran with the wrong crowd, but no, my
yeah.
parents have given themselves to make sure we've all had the best start in life. And I have nothing but appreciation for them. So what I mean? I've been given opportunity in every part of my life, and I've just taken it, because of my parents.
Yeah, that's why obviously you said that they're your idols,
Yeah.
which is great to see because especially from a place like Luton, which is known for like because a lot of people I know when I say, oh, yeah, I'm going to Luton, they go, oh, watch out. That sort of like Luton have like a bad persona.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
no, you're right. It's undeserved. Every part of the world has their own bits and bobs. Every part of the
yeah,
world has their own, nice and rough, but it's unfortunate. But this is why it's the thing as well. I always affiliate myself with Luton in any way because I want to show that not only good things can come from Luton, but
yeah.
it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what your environment is, you can always choose you have a chance.
So I think it's a great inspiration for what you're doing because I mean like any kid who's got like a middle class background to a lower class background, if they look at you, go, well, why can't I do that?
Yeah,
Because like so he's came from somewhere and there's some kid from Luton goes well he may come from 5 miles down the road 5 minutes down the road and why can't I do that? That's
yeah.
why it's a great inspiration for what you're doing.
I appreciate that, man.
Um, when you started, you were 17. And I think your I put it down here. Your professional debut was on the March 19th.
I
I
think
think.
you know what? I think it may have been March 17th, but I don't know, so don't feel bad. I don't remember yesterday, let alone that far.
Yeah.
That far. It was 5 years ago, so I'm not even gonna. I don't remember that, so don't worry about that. It was in March. It was on St.
Yeah.
Patrick's Day in 2017. I want to say.
What can you remember from that day and how the fight went?
It was. It was. I can't remember too much. I just remember. You know what it was? I remember when I used to fight as an amateur all the time.
Hmm.
I used to think to myself, oh, this is great because it's just like every weekend almost it'd be a fight, a fight, a fight, a fight, and
Yeah.
it was all right. It was all right. It was just a fight every weekend. So
Is that how you saw it?
yeah, it was just a fight every weekend. And then when I turned professional and I had my first professional fight, I realized it was a show.
Yeah.
Like it was just a massive show, and it was just crazy. Like I don't even know how to explain it. It was like, I mean, football terms, walking out for a Sunday league game at a park, then
Yeah.
to walk out at Wembley for something.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just nuts. I couldn't believe how much it was a show. Like it was just, do you know what I mean? The whole fighting aspect disappeared. It was all the show. So
Like the entertainment business as well as boxing.
yeah, 100%. So I figured that night that's all I remember from it, really.
Yeah. Um, Can you because I think I put down and tell me if I'm wrong. Were you an electrician at one point in your
Yes,
life?
yes.
Where did that come about?
When I was at my amateur boxing club, my coach worked for the council, and he said he could get me an apprenticeship to do a trade or electrics or whatever. And I just went with it. And
Yeah.
I thought this is another avenue to give myself, a really good future. So I'm going to go with it. And later on, pardon me, later on went on to, qualify and work for various companies and kind of use that to kind of sponsor my career and, do what I needed to do just make me money so I can, train and box and, things like
So
that.
sort of fund your career.
Yeah, fund my career. Exactly
Yeah.
that.
Now with your career, what is the sky the limit? Do you have a named goal, or do you just go, I'm going to go as high as I can and fight as many fights as I want? Or do you have like, do you when you wake up every morning, do you go, that's it, that one thing, that's what I want?
I just want like happiness. Like, so if I'm going to be happy, hitting my goals will get there. And my goal, like I said at the start, is to be the best at this sport. So I'm going to chase that, leave a mark, write my name in history books, and if I can do all of that, I'm happy. I'll be happy.
That's good to hear, mate. I think from what I've seen and what I've heard, you can do that, mate. Like from someone who doesn't know boxing and for someone who's seen what just what other people said. Like I said before we started, like when I was reading about it, it's like he's like polite, well spoken, and I think people like you want good things to happen to good people. That
Mm.
sort of aspect. But with boxing, now obviously the current middleweight English champion. Is it just defending that now? Is it just defending, or do you want more?
Yeah, I've defended, I defended that title in Milton Keynes, and now I'm just, pushing for more opportunities. Right now, it's just, taking it easy, learning every day in the gym. Um, and what other opportunities open up, whether it's the British, Commonwealth, European, moving on, or the
Hmm.
necessary routes. I'm just looking forward to that. So whatever options come up, whatever opportunities come up, I speak to my management and we decide what we're going to do next, and hopefully get a fight this year.
Yeah.
Before everything opens up, I'd like to have one more fight when everything. I'd like to have one more fight before everything opens up, but ideally I'd want fights or when things open up, because I'd love to fill venues again and
Yeah.
like that. So I really enjoy and experiencing these with crowds, my family, my friends, supporters, and things like that.
Yeah, but I feel like if obviously the COVID and all that didn't happen, how many fans would have been at Milton Keynes from obviously
I
'cause it's down the road
don't,
from Luton?
don't. I could have done that myself. I think I could have done that by myself. I said to Adam Smith, he was like, "Oh, do you reckon you could have sold quite a few?" And I went, "I think I brought 800 to York Hall,
Yeah.
and that's like an hour and a half away. I think I
So
could.
how many you could do
I
from
think I
Milton
could
Keynes?
do, yeah, for 20 minutes away. I think I can do a hell of a lot more. I could have done a couple of thousand for Milton Keynes,
Yeah. I mean,
and
you would
yeah.
have
So
loved it.
it'd be nice for everything to open up again to fight then. But if a good opportunity comes up before then I'm all over it. Right now, I'm in no rush. I'm relatively young, and
Yeah.
I'm taking opportunities that are right for me.
Um. So what is a boxer's life in lockdown? Since like last March, obviously all everything sort of like stopped.
Hmm.
What is a boxer's life lockdown?
So there's kind of two lives for two different boxers. So there's the boxers that have sponsorships that have continued to stay with them, and they can still fund their career in a sense of, while things are locked down, they can still they're still financially secure. And then
Yeah.
there's the boxers that are not so financially secure. So the boxers that are financially secure in the sense that they have sponsors, they like, where I'm quite fortunate, I can get up every day and go to the gym and
Yeah.
keep perfecting my craft and keep myself ready, keep myself learning, keep myself taken over without having to miss a day. Everything works around my boxing schedule.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can do all that. I can train twice a day. I can do what I want in a day. But with the other boxers that don't have the sponsorships, that don't that or got sponsorships that dropped out because of the
Yeah.
whole COVID situation, they have had to find work elsewhere. They've had to be very careful. They've had to go back to full-time work elsewhere, and they haven't been able to just get up and train twice a day
have to
Like
halt their boxing life.
yeah,
Really.
yeah, their boxing life is literally, yeah, you said it perfectly. It happened to another guy, a couple of people in my gym. Their boxing life's been put on hold because of this, of this pandemic.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's quite, it's very sad to see. At the same time, it's very humbling
Yeah.
to be one of the ones that is still fortunate enough to do what you can do. And I appreciate that every day. And I always shout out my sponsors, DNI Butchers, All Patrol UK, and JB Developments for it. They've really kept me doing what I can do. And the reason some of that fight that I had during lockdown that went so perfectly, they gave me the opportunity by funding my career through this pandemic.
Yeah. So does that when you like wake up every day, you just gotta be grateful that you are the one. Like, because obviously you said like some of your mates in the gym, obviously they have to go elsewhere, they have to get another job, or they have to sort of like because not everyone because when people say like, oh, you're a boxer, I like, oh, you must be a millionaire, you must like how much like all the sponsors, but then obviously like in any sports, like yeah, I'm a professional footballer, I play in League Two. People, oh, you
Yeah.
must be a millionaire. People don't understand that. Yes, you earn a very good wage, but it's not as glamorous as people in the Prem.
It's
Or,
not the same. I don't think I earn any more than somebody working a full-time job at some company.
yeah,
Do you know
you
what I mean?
just
I don't earn a significant amount more. Do you know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
don't obviously unless you're like on pay-per-view, signed by a very valuable promoter.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
mm,
You're not in those brackets. It's not the same. There's a very small percentage of people or fighters or professional athletes and things like that that are in those brackets. And a lot
yeah.
of people don't understand that, to be a professional athlete in any way, a lot of you will still be doing full-time jobs.
Yeah, because I think see like a lot of semi-professional footballers I know, like Jamie Vardy. For less when he was in semi-pro, he had to work in a factory just to just to have his footballing career and to have his life really.
Yeah, hundred
Like
percent.
like you said, when you're an electrician, you had to have that. You have to have something to fall back on.
Yeah, 100%. Not only, I've got the trade to fall back on, but when I was doing that, I needed to find my career. So I needed to have the early mornings, late nights, and early mornings working but straight into training, straight into this and doing all the. It was very difficult. It was very difficult, but it's that's just how it is. All these people when they're look where they are now. When you're chasing a dream, nothing will put out that flame. You just gotta keep pushing no matter what. You got to keep looking at the end goal, and you want to be at the top, so nothing will stop you.
Yeah. I've also tried to get some questions in as well. Two sort of very easy questions. What is your favourite fight and what has been your hardest fight?
My favorite.
Yeah, so sort of fight you sort of look back on, sort of way like you. I don't know, say enjoy it because I don't think someone enjoys getting hit in the face, but what sort of fight you look back on and thought like if it's your favourite, maybe like your title fight or your debut.
My favorite would probably be the last one.
Yeah.
My hardest would be I want to say fifth
Mhm.
or sixth one against a guy called Ashley Bailey Demetz. He was just, I don't know. It was a fight where I had to learn a lot of things overnight. Like
Yeah.
he gave me a lot of problems. He gave me a lot of problems, and I found it very difficult to get around it. But I got around it and knocked him out. So it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was, I solved the
Yeah.
puzzle, but it was very difficult. It was incredibly
Yeah.
difficult. That
Would
was
you
a
say
really
yeah?
go on.
Sorry. Would you say those fights are sort of very important in your career because they sort of teach you a lot in just sort of like one boxing match where they sort of teach you how to deal with certain things like just in case that comes along later on
Yeah,
because I know in boxing there's like people because I know there's like that sort of sometimes I hear about boxing that people just go oh you just hit him in the face and dodge him
yeah,
where you hit him in the face but I when I'm talking to some of my friends um it's very I see like it's very like complex it's sort of like so some people call football like a game of chess sometimes because it's sometimes like very very tactical with like managers at the top would you say sort of fights like that have to sort of are like important really? Like you said, it's a puzzle and you complete the puzzle.
Yeah, 100%. There's boxing's just fast chess. It's just high speed chess.
Yeah.
It is being one step ahead of the opposition of your opposition.
Hmm.
Is you hit and don't be hit. The art of hitting and don't get hit is a sweet science.
Yeah.
But yeah, these fights definitely teach me invaluable information and skills that I would have never picked up in the gym and things like that. Like I had to
Hmm.
learn how to deal with a cut in a fight I was losing. I had to
Yeah.
learn how to, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
things like that, how to deal with certain kind of fighters and things like this. It's just it taught me a lot of things. I never knew when blood goes in your eye, you go blind for about until you get it out, but you can't wash it out. You have to blink it out. I didn't know any of that until it happened. So
I think fast.
yeah, you had to kind of think fast, and luckily my coach and corner team kind of stopped the blood, and yeah, it was all good. It's all good. It's these experiences are invaluable. I never forget them.
Yeah. But with boxing, do you think it teaches good values as well? Because I know he was obviously opponent at Harden Jr. When I was watching it, all the commentators were saying like how he spent time in prison, sort of turned his life around. Would you say boxing brings like values um for people like ill disciplined people? Would you say so?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I think boxing saves lives.
Yeah.
I'd never. I don't think boxing is the answer, but boxing is an answer to a lot of behavioral problems and things like that. And boxing does give you that discipline. It gives you drive. It gives you like it gives you that little bit more, that purpose. It gives you purpose. You know what I mean? You see improvement. You physically see improvement. You mentally see improvement, and it's good. And I mean, it's a lot of tension release as well. So I think boxing and any combat sport or just sport in general gives you a lot of a lot of direction in life. Just in mine, it's been boxing.
Yeah. You would you I mean have you had any friends that have sort of like could have been beneficial for boxing? Like would have like I wouldn't say saved them, or do you know any stories of like people like if they had a bit more discipline, also would have sort of saved them as such.
Oh, there's so many of like we call those like just wasted talents.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
so many people that we've seen, like you've seen it with footballers, players that just incredible,
yeah.
some of the best players you've ever seen, but they just weren't really, they didn't have that push, like
Like you said earlier, like the wrong crowds.
yeah, wrong crowds. I mean, I know a kid when we left school. I knew a kid that played for Arsenal, and they were ready to sign him up. He was going to be the next best thing, and he just don't know. He just didn't push.
Yeah,
And there was another kid that had a boxing sponsorship and was ready. They were ready to like ship him off to the States for him to be the next best thing. And he just hung around with the wrong crowd, and no one wanted to associate with him.
yeah. Oh
And
yeah,
yeah, you see so many wasted talents. But with it's all about, at the end of the day, it's all about hard work. It's all about drive. Talent is good, but hard work always beats talent when
yeah.
talent
No,
doesn't want to work hard.
yeah, I agree. I 100% agree because there's so many. Because football is sort of is like my thing, my passion. Football. Because I mean, the podcast is called "Coaches Don't Play," and that comes from because my sort of dream in life is to be a football coach
Okay.
at sort of any level. So I sort of created this. I made this podcast. I'll tell you how I made this podcast. I was in the shower. And I thought, I listened to podcasts. I thought I could make a podcast, And then I told my girlfriend. She was like, yeah, it's a good idea. So then I made the Instagram account, did all that, and then messaged people on Instagram. Messaged, and I thought, oh yeah, Linus Udofia. I'll give. I messaged him. Then messaged like some Luton players, some Stevenage players, people local. Next thing you know, you messaged me back, and I was like, oh my god.
It's
I,
actually
yeah, it was mental. I was like, oh, that is. I just sort of like looked at my phone, and then looked at your message. I was like, is that real? Is that like um? But yeah, like it's so surreal. And also I listened to a podcast called the Football Ramble. I messaged one of their like hosts. He responded back with like some tips and stuff. And I just want to say, mate, I'm a massive fan, just like proper fanboying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I just want to say how like because you didn't have to take your time out just to come on. I just want to say thank you for
It's all right, man. We go hand in hand, to be honest, because without you, I wouldn't have a platform to have people get to know me. Do you know what I mean? Without
yeah
us, you wouldn't have anyone to interview. You know what I mean? It goes hand in hand, and people need to understand how important it is for channels as well as it is for individuals to get themselves out there. You know.
yeah
So
yeah.
I mean, I owe you a big thank you, just as well.
Oh, that's that. It's because for me now this is a big surreal moment, and like I said, I was like really nervous before I came on. And my dad came in. And go, yeah, we do ask him. We do ask him. If you okay, so you got questions? Yeah, yeah, I've got questions. All right, but I just I think I get nervous as well because like when I'm doing my driving lessons, well when I can, and it's always before the lesson. I'm always a bit oh god. Then I get into the car 10 minutes later. It's all right.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Your body naturally, like the thing was with like about a little bit of anxiety and things like that. It just your body normally goes, oh, what's the worst thing that can happen, and then it
yes,
kind
yeah,
of tries to bring it to life, and
yeah,
that's where your anxiety comes from. And it's like, you literally all you end up doing is just sitting there thinking the worst the whole
yeah,
time. Just thinking the worst thing that could happen, the worst thing that could happen. I could embarrass myself. I could,
yeah,
do you know what I mean? You could not represent yourself right. You could say one thing wrong. You could do this, but
yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you something that a handful of people, only a handful of people know about me. If I have something to do in the morning that is new to me, in a
Hmm.
sense of if I have to meet somebody
Yeah.
or like do something, I don't know, like anything. If I have to do something new,
Hmm.
I will not be able to sleep that night.
Really? Well, the whole just
Yeah,
sort of.
yeah, the whole night I get so anxious and I can't sleep.
They see when you say that, that's sort of like it's not like I don't believe it, but when I see you, it's like it's Mr. Cool, calm,
Yeah,
collected. But then people don't see what's on the inside.
yeah,
Yeah, but I 100% get what you mean, and like I obviously I think everyone experienced that in their life. Like so for like an example, but I wouldn't say like this is an example. But let's say you had like an interview for like your boxing, or you're meeting someone to do like a spar with. Is it something? Is it sort of similar like that, or is it other
Nah,
opportunities?
not really. More like, yeah, of opportunities. I do a little bit of PTing on the side here and there.
Yeah.
And I remember before all this happened, I got this big contract to PT in a school.
Hmm.
I was, working in a school, PTing in a school, and like I remember I just couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. Like, you know what? Actually, no. This one's a bit closer to home. I did a Instagram live video with Boxer.
Hmm.
Yeah, with the people that do the boxer tournaments,
Yeah.
and it was an Instagram workout video. That night, I didn't sleep.
Really.
I didn't sleep that night because I was really nervous about doing it next day.
But is it sort of thing like I said, sort of when it sort of comes to it, do you sort of like bring yourself up a bit,
Oh
or is it?
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
when it get look, I know. I always know when I get there, I'll be fine. I know I will. I
Yeah,
just
but it's that
my
if.
body and my head just always. It just like I never get nervous for fights. I don't get nervous for training, sparring, anything. I just always, if it's something else, I just get so nervous, and it consumes me, man. It consumes me. Like
Yeah,
I don't even get nervous before fights. Yeah, I don't.
that's bad to think as well.
Yeah, I don't get. I've never really. The only fight I've ever been nervous before was my debut.
That's obviously that
That,
happens as well.
yeah, it's the first time. But other than that, I've never. I don't get nervous before fights. But it's just like I couldn't. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not. I get it. You know, you look at me and you think, oh yeah, he seems cool. He doesn't. You know what I mean? He doesn't. He doesn't seem phased by anything.
I've seen the
Uh,
Instagram posts.
Yeah, I'm a nervous wreck. Yeah, I'm a nervous wreck sometimes.
Did you? Is it obviously coming back to that like what ifs? Like so, you sort of like you go out. It's like when people
Mm.
start driving. So like you start driving, blah blah blah. I know where I'm going. I've done it 10 times before. It's like yeah, what if?
Yeah.
It's
What
yeah
What if I hit another car? What
yeah
if I stole in front of everyone? What if
yeah.
I this? What if it's all it's just it's a lot
All
of
in
it.
your head.
It's all in your head. It's most likely will not happen, and you're worrying about nothing. You're just wasting energy worrying about nothing. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It happens to more people than you think. Trust me.
Yeah. With the with like obviously you said like you struggle sleeping. Is that sort of something you look at and you go that's a problem? I might need to sort this. Have a look at, or maybe take a tablet, or is there, or maybe try do like meditation, or is it, or do you see something as it is what it is, and I just work with it. It's just sort of natural.
It's a bit of both because it doesn't happen so much where I've identified it as, oh, this is a problem. This is something that I need to, look deeper into. Is that kind of I've accepted.
Yeah,
It happens to me. I understand when it happens to me. I control it a bit better. So I just understand that if I've got something important that day, I may not be able to sleep that well or sleep at all. So I need to make sure my day works around that. So then I could maybe get some sleeps in the day.
yeah,
Like it doesn't happen to me anywhere near enough for me to think, oh, you know what, this might be something that needs to
yeah,
be looked
yeah.
into a bit more.
Is that something? Has it got better with age, or has it got worse with age? Would you think?
It got a little bit worse with age, if I'm honest, because it's only just really become really like it's happened more.
Yeah.
It's only been happening more like in the last 2 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a bit like because I was thinking, well, it must get better with age because obviously the older you come, the more experiences and the more times you deal with it. But that's really interesting. You said that. So how do you cope with it? Do you obviously just sort of think, well, it's at 5 o'clock.
Mm.
I've got training at 1 till like 3. So can I get a nap in at half 3, or can I should I have like more coffee? Is
Mm.
how do you deal with it?
A lot of it is a lot of trying to get the sleep. If I can't get the sleep, I obviously use certain meditation, some sleep
Mhm,
sprays, some certain smells in my room, some noises in a sense of like rain noises, normally quite
mhm.
calming, normally gets me going.
Like ASMR.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Then if that failing that, I try and work out my day. If tomorrow all I'm doing is training,
Mhm,
then I'm going to train in the morning, and then let's say I've got training in the evening, so I'll train at 11 or 10 in the morning.
mhm.
I probably wouldn't have slept that night, depending on if that's what I'm nervous. If I'm nervous about something, I wouldn't have slept that night. I'd train, sleep most of the day because as soon as I get home, I'll be knocked out like a light. I'll
Yeah.
sleep most of the day till about 6 o'clock. Get up, train at 7, sleep at night. That night, I just do it. I just work it around me. I just make sure it works around me.
Yeah. Okay. That's really fascinating. That's really like I said, it's not something that you can't judge that by just looking at someone, and that's really like that is when it first sort of happened. Was it sort of hard to talk about, or was it sort of like, oh, did you know this whatsoever? Have you got like any tips or something?
Um, it it wasn't hard to talk about. I just didn't realize that it was a foreign thing. Like
Yeah.
until I spoke to someone and they were like, "Oh wait, what? That's not normal." And then
Yeah.
other people were like, "Oh, that's weird. That's actually not normal. That
Hmm.
happens to you. That's not normal." And then I realized, oh God, I'm not.
Yeah.
I thought this happened to everyone. I thought everyone
Oh,
got.
okay.
But yeah, no, it was a bit like I could always talk about it freely. I just didn't
Hmm.
realize not a lot of people went through it.
Oh, okay. No, that's really fascinating. Do you remember when like the first time it happened? Was it sort of happened like sort of like school time? Sort of like, oh, I've got.
No. I was well. It happened maybe 2 years ago, like probably.
Oh, okay.
I think it happened. You know what? I think it happened properly in the first lockdown.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was doing the next day, but something happened. Oh, I was meant to be doing something. I was meant to be doing something relatively important. I either had a meeting or something.
Hmm.
I telling you, I didn't get a wink. I couldn't get a wink of sleep. One of my mates, he used to do a night shift.
Yeah.
at this place, so I just stayed up on the PlayStation with him.
Did you?
Yeah, for his
Nice.
whole night shift.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
So it's literally just like you're just laying in bed, nothing. You just fully awake. You
Yeah,
can't get to
3 a
sleep.
week. The more I try and get to sleep, the more I wake up.
Yeah, that's sort of. I think 'cause personally that's happened to me before. That's sort of like, well, I'm like proper nervous or like or when it's normally sometimes where I'll be like playing Xbox till like sort of 12 1 ish, and then I sort of go off thinking I'll go to bed, go on my phone, it's 3
Yeah,
o'clock, 4 o'clock,
yeah. You
try and go
blink.
to
Yeah,
bed. Yeah, and then
you blink, and then it's like morning, and you're like,
yeah,
whoa.
but I think but obviously like you said, like not everyone experienced that sort of
Yeah.
that thing. But you don't think it's a massive problem because it doesn't happen often.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often. And you know what? To be honest, I've been a night owl most of my life anyway. I've
Yeah.
always enjoyed being up in the night. I always find out I notice things a little bit differently at night. My
Hmm.
brain becomes more active. I get more creative at night and
Yeah.
things like that. I think of things. I start to like really get creative. Like I said, just get creative at night.
See,
And
I get that because I was having a chat with my mate recently, and two things, right? I can link this back to the podcast. It's late at night or in the shower. I somehow rethink my entire life.
yeah,
I'll be in bed late at night. You know, I might start a diet, and then I have to do that tomorrow. I'll clean my room tomorrow, and I've got to do this, so I'll do that. Morning comes, I wake up. What have I got to do today? Nothing. All right, then I'll go back to bed. Because for me, it's been really hard because of since since March, I left college thinking I'll go into an apprenticeship. Right, then lockdown happened. No one was hiring, so I go, oh, okay, I'll go back to college. I said, yeah, so you can go to hair and beauty because that's the only thing that's open. That's not happening.
yeah.
So 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 through March till March, I actually I've only just got a job in an apprenticeship yesterday, and that's working in the school.
Oh, well done. What
Thank
you do?
you. So it's like it's 7 till 9, half 3 till half 4, sort of like a before and after school club for kids, sort of thing, like doing sport. That's sort of
That's good.
that's the main premise. But yeah, but like I mean, like you said, like I found it very hard to sleep when I was I think it was the other day. I think it was last Friday. I went into there to go do like an hour session just to get a feel of it. And I found it like really hard to sleep. So that's where I sort of see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Um.
something a bit new. It's the unknown, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
it's the unknown. You know, like I said, like I don't know. I always come awake. I've always come alive at night. I've ever since I can remember, but it's never been like this. Like I've never really been nervous about a lot of things in my life, and like I've noticeably been nervous for like certain things, and it's really stopped me going to sleep at all.
Mhm. But but
Um,
like but like you said, that never like before a fight. You never really got nervous.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's just that's got like I'm relatively assured in myself,
You know you
and
don't
I
win.
know. Yeah, well, no, not I know I'm going to win. I know I've just worked. I know
You've
I've
done the
worked
work.
hard enough. Yeah, I've done the work. Everything. It's like I've done the work. I've done everything. I've done my training. I've done the sparring. I've done everything. I've done the nutrition. I've done the dieting. I've done the swimming. I've done everything. I've ticked all the boxes. What have I got to be worried about? So I just go to
Yeah.
sleep. Nothing. I just go to sleep. But in other things, I don't know. It just catches me.
Yeah. No, that's sort of that's sort of I can sort of see where I can sort of see that happening because like you sort of like gone through your head like letting oh well I've done that like I've I've researched I've done the diet I know what's to come at me tomorrow I know what I'm doing and that's sort of like it reassures you.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. But so that that's really fascinating because I mean when I started this I thought he talked about his boxing about his life but for you to like come out and say that Just thought I thought because like you said that it might not be hard for you, but like for other people they might experience that.
Yeah,
So yeah, but like with things with mental health, I think it's and stuff like that. Just make sure people that they're not alone. That's really
yeah.
important.
That's one of the biggest things out there, and they're not alone, you know,
Yeah,
because that's what you do when no matter what mental health issue you are thinking of, the biggest stigma, the biggest thing that goes around in your head is you are the only person going through this,
yeah.
and
No, I
nobody's
totally
going
get
to
it.
understand.
Yeah. Would you say you I wouldn't say you have problems with mental health, or would you say you like um you know people around you?
Yeah, I've had my own issues with mental health. I wouldn't say problems. I've just had little blips with mental health. I've had, um, some things with paranoia, a little bit of depression.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a bit of a journey, but
Hmm.
I'm on the other side, and
All better
I
for it.
yeah, I'm all here for it. I never used to like most men, I never really used to address mental health as a thing.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's
I never addressed mental health. I never thought it could be a thing. I just thought, oh, just get up and
yeah. Just
it'll be
feeling a bit
fine.
down.
Just yeah, you're feeling a bit down, and it's man up, like
Yes.
literally.
Yeah.
That's just as much as I actually hate saying that right now,
Yeah.
but
That's
that
been
that
it's
is
been
that is what it was. That's who I was. That's the kind of person I was. And then certain things happened to me with this whole boxing thing, and it was very hard to deal with.
yeah.
And I dealt with it. I seeked out what I needed to seek out. I got the right people around me. I had the right people around me. I got rid of the wrong people, and
Yeah.
started doing things better and sought the help I needed. And yeah, I'm on a very positive. I'm in a very positive place.
That's great to hear because I know so many people. A lot obviously since I think lockdown and lot of COVID for that has like sort of stopped people like being creative. I mean going out stuff like that. I think because I think mental health, especially in sports, should be spoken like a lot more. It is spoken
Hmm.
because a lot of people in sports sort of advocate it, but
Yeah.
but I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like I, I was thinking about this while you was talking. Is for someone who how you're 27, aren't you?
27 years. Yeah.
Yeah, 27. I'm 17.
Hmm.
So from when I was born 2003. From where I am now, I think mental health has been spoken a lot more for
Yeah.
someone who, when you was younger, it was man up,
Yeah. Oh
which
yeah.
which is, I mean, you should never say because it's sort of because it leaves that like you said, oh man up. You just got to think in your head that oh yeah, I should just man up, and then just sort of put it back in your head. When it comes back, you've got nothing. You just got to sort of like keep it in because you don't want to
Yeah.
see. You want to be the man, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. When mental health, the stigma of mental health, when you were, I don't know, like I think there is still avenues where you are looked at a bit funny for it. But when, let's say, if I was, around my generation, maybe when I was 17 and I tried to, or I had mental health problems and I tried to be open with it, it wouldn't be the same response than it is right now. I
Yeah,
think you're right. It wouldn't be the same response, and I'm glad it's the way it is now, where the general public and just in general, the topic of mental health is being discussed, and there's mental health psychologists, sports mental health psychologists. There's so many different factors of like help that they can be. There's so many different avenues. There's so many different people, places like Mind, all the hard work they do for mental health,
yeah,
and there's so many different avenues for help now.
yeah. Which is, I mean, it's brilliant for what people have done because and how far it's gone.
Yeah,
Because
it's only been like 5-10 years.
yeah, from to go from man up to like actually people listening, it's been
Speak about it.
yeah, it's been. I think it's been a very good like rise, and it's sort of like it should have been done a lot sooner. People should realise, but for what it's done now,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but
I think it's just one of those where we're happy it's here. We're just happy the help is here.
yeah,
whether it's taken however long, it's here now, and there's a lot of avenues for help. People are just genuinely helping each other.
Yeah. When it comes to mental health, and stuff like that, I don't know how to link this, but another thing that's become in the news recently, and if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But as you are a young black man. Have you experienced like racism or racist comments towards you in your boxing life or career?
Not in my boxing life, no. I can't say I actually ever have experienced any racism in my boxing life. You know, I've had some form of racism, but it's not been enough to affect my life.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But just because.
I've still managed to do everything I needed to.
Yeah.
I've had every opportunity that there could have been. Never
Yeah,
been held back because of colour, my heritage, or anything like that.
Yeah.
I've been given every opportunity that that could have been given.
Yeah. That's great to hear because I do hear stories of like obviously like young black footballers and like I mean, but places like Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that where every sports star, every person's life is out there, and the amount of like abuse and especially like racist abuse is just like it's disgusting and like because I know I think it was I think it was Watford actually, which I mean they've finally done something right. But I saw there was Jefferson Lerma, their midfielder, was getting some racist abuse. What they've done is they've screenshotted it and sent it off to Hearts Police, and stuff like that should be done more.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, in sports.
Yeah, that's good. Like it should be. Do you know what I mean? It should be. It's something that isn't acceptable. You know, I don't think. Yeah, it's nice to be nice. Disgusting comments like that about
Yeah,
someone's skin color, heritage, whatever. It's unacceptable in any form for a joke or whether it's you're trying to abuse someone. It's not right. It's not right, and I'm glad to see that things like that are being done about it.
it's just yeah. I totally agree. But I mean, it's been 58 minutes. It's been an absolutely amazing chat. But I just want to leave you off with one question.
Cool on.
How do you want to be remembered?
Oh, for being for doing the right things, for being a model, for being somebody that somebody can look up to and say, you know what, I want to be like that when I'm older.
Yeah, that's yeah. That's something like that. I think that's something that like everyone wants to be. Even that's like being like a dad.
Yeah,
Sort of thing. Like I want my son to like or my daughter to be like me. But yeah, I think that's a very good answer.
thank you.
All right. Yeah, like I say, mate, it's been a pleasure, mate. Because like I said, for taking time out your day just have a chat.
No, that's
Which
all right, man.
yeah.
Right, can I ask you a question before you go?
Yeah, sure you can.
What do you want to be? What do you want to be remembered like for?
What I'll be remembered for is you've done me there. I've thought about this actually. Um, I know it sounds a bit strange, but I just want to be remembered as like a nice guy,
Yeah,
a genuine like. I don't want to be someone like before I pass. I don't want to be someone like. Do you remember Tyler? And they'd be like, oh yeah, but you know this happened, this happened.
yeah, yeah.
I want to be that. Remember, I want to be like, oh, do you remember Tyler? Oh yeah, do you remember when he blah blah?
Yeah, a lot of
Hopefully,
good memories. You want a lot of good
yeah,
memories.
yeah.
Yeah,
But hopefully that's something to do with football in terms. I want to be remembered like I want to be remembered as someone as a football club. Someone they'll go like, do you remember this sort of period of time where Tyler was in charge and then this happened? But
yeah.
that's obviously a
That
dream.
promotion, baby.
Yeah, managing Luton would be
That's
is
a dream, innit?
that is yeah because some people would be like you managing Luton they'd be like why do you want to manage Luton because it
That's
means
my dream.
something.
That's like that's me. Like, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
playing for Luton would be like just just incredible. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I remember one of the best accolades of my life. A lot of people don't think it's massive, but I remember when I first ever won the English title,
Mhm.
and they invited me down to like go on the pitch and
Yeah,
walk around.
that's
That
when I
was
first heard about
that,
you.
that was a dream. When I met, oh, that was like I cried. Like I was like, I remember I went home and I was laying up that night, and I was, when you like, I'm not crying because I'm sad, but I'm just like, I can't believe
That's mental.
I've achieved one of my dreams. I've just achieved one of my dreams.
Yeah,
Like that's
that's
amazing. Like I've just achieved something. I've just achieved that.
yeah,
Like that
that
is something I've always wanted to do ever since I started the boxing thing and like linking the whole Luton Town, my favorite football team, and do you know what
yeah,
I mean? What I do now to win an accolade in what I do and to have my club invite me down to
yeah. For them
praise
to
it.
acknowledge you and for like
Yeah, to
to be
acknowledge me.
proud of you.
Yeah, that's a dream. That's like a dream, and it's just one of those like heart and throat moment, isn't it? It was just
Yeah,
crazy.
and that's mental. But there's one thing I want to see from you.
Come on,
I really want to see you fight Kenilworth Road or Power
I want
Court.
to see. Well, I want to see. I want that as well.
Yeah, because I think that it was sold out. I won't give it a day. It'll be sold out.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I'm with you. I want that to happen as well.
Yeah, mate,
So let's touch some wood and let's just pray and that happens. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, mate, it'll be immense. And I tell you what, mate, I'll be there.
I appreciate that.
Mate. All right. I thought to end the podcast, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Nah, pleasure's all mine.
All right. Let's just